In this question, we want to take a look at how to conduct a test for a population median. We're told that a study looked at the number of emergency room visits for non-occupational firework-related injuries in the first half of July across 16 different cities in 2025. The number of visits in each city are provided in the list below. We want to start by copying that data so that we can open Desmos and in part A, calculate the skewness. We'll paste that data into our X1 data set, and we get a skewness of 1.3413. Then we're asked if the conditions are met to test a claim about the population mean. In this case, we have highly skewed data and a small sample size since we only have 16 data points. So we would say that no, the sample size is small and the data is highly skewed, so it's likely that it comes from a non-normally distributed population. Previously, at this point, we would have gone ahead and conducted a test about the population mean, but our interpretive pieces would have stated that we couldn't draw any conclusion, so it's up to us to know that that p-value didn't really have any meaning since the conditions were not met. Now what we're going to do is make a decision to test a claim about the median rather than the average. So we want to construct the appropriate hypotheses needed to test the claim that the median number of firework-related injuries is less than 189. Since we're testing a claim about a median, our population parameter will be eta. The null hypothesis is always a statement of equivalence, and we're comparing it to 189. Our alternative hypothesis is less than, with that same value. Clicking back over to Desmos, we can plug in that numerical value from our hypothesis test, from our hypotheses as that value for the null. And then now, since we know we're testing a claim about the median, we'll jump down to this population median section, and we have three different p-values where it's up to us again to choose the correct value for our test. In this case, our p-value is 0.9894. And we can conclude that since the p-value in this case is greater than 0.05, which is our given significance level, we fail to reject the null hypothesis. That means there is insufficient evidence to discredit the null hypothesis, so we maintain our assumption that the population parameter, which in this case is eta, is equal to 189. And then in part F, the claim in this case is not supported. The data does not provide enough evidence to suggest that the median number of firework-related injuries is less than 189. Now, obviously, there are answers that would shift depending on the p-value that we calculated and depending on the parameter. Everywhere we have an eta in this case, if we were testing the mean, we would change those values to mu. When we're concluding our final statement here, if we were testing a claim about a mean, then we would use average instead of median. And then our other answers would shift as we've seen before, just depending on whether we rejected or failed to reject the null hypothesis.